Rain falls softly. Distant thunder. A misty forest road at dusk. The wind moves through the trees, carrying the echo of a name. Emily. Emily. A flashlight beam cuts through the fog. A woman's voice, shaking. Please, please come home. The light flickers over a patch of mud, where something glints, a cell phone, half buried, its screen cracked. The timestamp reads 8:43 p.m. One message sits unsent. Don't come looking for me. Please. The sound of dogs barking. Police radios crackling. Someone yells, "We found her phone near Miller's Trail." A deputy whispers, "No footprints past this point." A siren fades. The screen goes black. Only the sound of rain remains. Morning light breaks over Red Creek, Oregon, a small town, framed by evergreens and silence. Neighbors gather at the diner, voices low. "Did you hear about Susan's girl? Emily?" "Yeah. They say she just walked off." "No, not Emily. That girl wouldn't run." Inside a modest house, a woman stares at the empty bed in her daughter's room. On the nightstand, a Polaroid of Emily and her dog, Jasper. The camera sits beside it, battery dead, lens cracked. A knock on the door. Sheriff Hall stands there, hat in hand. "We're doing everything we can, ma'am. Drones, dogs, volunteers. The whole county's out." Susan nods, wordless. She walks to the porch, switches on a small yellow light. She leaves it burning all night. Days pass. Posters appear on trees and shop windows. Missing, Emily Carter. Age 17. Last seen wearing red scarf and blue jacket. Her classmates organize a search. Megan, her best friend, leads one group. She loved that trail. Miller's. She said it felt like a place out of time. A volunteer finds something tangled in a bush, red fabric, soaked by rain. The sheriff takes it, sealing it in a plastic bag. Susan sees the scarf and breaks. It's hers. That night, a deputy scrolls through Emily's phone records. One text stands out, sent 2 hours after the phone's last location ping. A message to Megan. "Don't come looking for me. Please." The deputy frowns. "That's impossible. The phone was dead by then." At school, Megan stares at Emily's locker. A photo of them smiling together hangs by a magnet. Reporters crowd the gates. Cameras flash. "Was she acting strange?" someone asks. Megan whispers. "She said someone was following her." Inside Emily's room, officers search drawers and notebooks. Under the mattress, they find a small journal, pages water-stained, handwriting jagged. Words blurred, but legible. "He's outside again. Mom doesn't believe me." The man in the green jacket. Sheriff Hall leans back, reading the line twice. A deputy says, "You think it's a boyfriend?" The sheriff shakes his head. "No, I think it's worse." Weeks turn into months. Winter covers Red Creek in snow. The search slows. Reporters move on. But Susan doesn't. She walks the same trail every morning, calling Emily's name until her voice gives out. One afternoon, a hunter stumbles on something strange, an old, weathered notebook, half buried near the creek. Inside, sketches of trees, trails, and a cabin. In one drawing, a tall man stands beside a girl with long hair. The sheriff compares the sketch to Emily's handwriting. A match. They search property records. One name repeats. Daniel Reese. Daniel Reese. 42. Local handyman. Lived alone in a trailer by the logging road. Worked at the Carter's house 6 weeks before Emily disappeared. Neighbors describe him as quiet, odd. Always wore the same green jacket. When police arrive, the trailer's empty. Inside, old tools, canned food, a single photograph tacked to the wall. Emily, smiling, holding her camera. The sheriff's radio crackles. "Boss, you're going to want to see this." At the edge of the property, buried under wet leaves, they find a burnt SD card. Forensic techs recover fragments. 5 surviving photos. The first, Emily on Miller's Trail. The second, her reflection in the lake. The third, a hand reaching out of frame. The fourth, the same forest clearing she posted on Instagram, captioned, "It's closer than you think." And the last photo, her, standing alone in the fog. Behind her, a shadowed figure. The tech zooms in. A shape of a shoulder. A green jacket. The manhunt lasts 6 months. Nothing. Until a ranger spots smoke from an old hunting cabin, miles into the woods. Inside, mold and silence. An old blanket. Cans of beans. And under a loose floorboard, Polaroid photos. In one photo, Emily sits by a campfire, smiling faintly. She looks thinner, but calm. In the corner, the edge of a man's arm. Fingerprints confirm Daniel Reese. A week later, he's found at a rest stop outside Redding, California. Sitting in his truck, staring at the road. When officers cuff him, he doesn't fight. He just says, "I was trying to protect her." In interrogation, Reese's story spills out in fragments. He says he met Emily when repairing her family's porch. She seemed scared, said someone was watching her from school, following her home. He told her he could keep her safe, build her a place to hide. He took her into the woods, to the cabin. Said she stayed for a while, 3 weeks, maybe 4. She liked to read, take pictures. Then one morning, she was gone. He swears he searched for her. Swears he left food by the door every day. When police press him, "Why didn't you call anyone?" He looks down. She didn't want to be found. Later, he changes his story again. Says someone else came for her. A tall man. A dark truck. No one ever sees either. There's no body, no weapon, no proof. Only photos, sketches, and one broken man's confession. Reese is charged with unlawful imprisonment and obstruction. 7 years in prison. He never mentions Emily again. Years pass. Red Creek grows quieter. The Carters move away. But Susan keeps the porch light burning wherever she goes. Then, in the summer of 2022, the drought hits. Lake Silverwood's waterline drops by nearly 10 feet. A fisherman casts his line near the exposed roots of an old oak. His hook catches on something heavy. A torn backpack surfaces, coated in mud. Inside, a flannel shirt, a rusted camera, and a pendant engraved with the letters EC. Police take the items to the lab. The film roll inside the camera is still intact. When developed, the photos show landscapes, sunrises, water reflections. And one final image. The shore of the lake. 2 sets of footprints. One smaller, barefoot. One larger, booted. They stop at the water's edge. Then nothing. Reporters descend again. Headlines read, "Possible break in Emily Carter case." The sheriff reopens the investigation. He's older now. Tired. He visits Susan to return the pendant. She takes it in her palm and whispers, "I knew she was near water." On Emily's birthday, Susan stands by the lake. The fog moves slowly across the surface. She places a single yellow rose in the water. "Happy birthday, sweetheart." A camera drone pulls back, the wide silence of the forest swallowing the scene. Years later, a young journalist makes a podcast about the case. In one interview, Susan says, "I used to want justice. Now I just want truth." Her voice trembles. "I don't think she ran away. I think she trusted the wrong person. And maybe he thought he was saving her." The podcast goes viral. Hundreds of tips flood in. Most lead nowhere. But one stands out. A former co-worker of Reese claims he'd built another cabin, even deeper in the woods. Police search the coordinates. Nothing remains but collapsed timber and ashes. They find a rusted tin box buried in the dirt. Inside, fragments of paper. Words barely legible. "It's quiet here. I think he means well. But I miss the sound of the town." The handwriting matches Emily's. No more entries after that. The school hallway lined with photos from the missing persons vigil. The yellow porch light glowing through another winter. The sheriff retires. The case remains open. Some nights, hikers say they hear a voice in the woods calling softly. It's closer than you think. Locals call it the wind. Others say it's her. She's still out there. Maybe not the way I want. But she's part of this place now. No one disappears alone. If you have information about a missing person, call 1-800-THELOST.